stage, Alex Hormozi!
You guys are awesome. Thank you guys. Cameras ready? Audio ready? Lights ready? Are you guys ready? Yes? All right. I'm Alex Hormozi, and welcome to my $100 million Money Models book launch event. And we're gonna try and break not one, but two world records together here live. So I've got the Guinness judges right here. Brittany, why don't you come on out? Brittany's gonna make sure that we check boxes and do the things to make this legit. Thank you so much, Brittany. We all thank you. So it's gonna be a wild ride. And you guys are gonna wanna buckle up because it's gonna get exciting. Now, if you're anything like me, you know that businesses need money to grow. So I'm gonna show you the art of getting more customers to spend more money in less time again and again. But I wanna warn you, this isn't a promise you're gonna become rich, fabulous, or fabulously rich, or get any other result. Everyone is different. Scaling your business, like everything else in life worth doing, involves risk. And most people do nothing at all, so your results will vary. So if you see text like this at the bottom of the screen, it's there to remind you of that fact. And that's why I make free content every day to help you, the entrepreneur, to scale your business and make your results as good as I reliably can. And in the spirit of that, this is the biggest free book launch event to help entrepreneurs and business owners I've ever put on, and maybe the biggest one in history. We'll see. But I'm no saint. I want to make money just like you, and I do all this so I can someday invest in your company and scale it. Because scaling companies like yours by installing new money models is how I make my money. Just to give you an idea, let me tell you something insane. I sold 3 companies I started as a kid, 2 of them at $46.2 million in an all-cash deal to American Pacific Group. And then I took that money and invested it in new companies, which I've since scaled under our holding company, Acquisition.com. For context, the businesses in Acquisition.com portfolio did in aggregate over $250 million in revenue in 2024. To give you an idea, if Acquisition.com were a publicly traded company today, it'd be in the top 15% of all 51,000 publicly traded companies when we use net income as a measuring stick. So me saying this may create envy in some, anger in others, skepticism in most, and confusion in old people, inspire a select few. And you, the entrepreneur, the business owner, are who I made these money models for. It's also why my wife and I made it our mission to make real business education accessible for everyone. Cool? Great. Now you're all caught up. But you're not here for my story. You're here to take the next step in yours. So here's what I'll show you today. How good money models get more customers to spend more money in less time over and over again. And when that happens, your business scales as fast as you can handle. That said, money models work for marketing agencies, online businesses, real estate, financial services, insurance, home services, local business, consumer services, automotive, healthcare, software, e-learning, e-commerce, and anything that sells stuff to anyone. And I know they work because of 2 inarguable truths. One, I know they work because I use them in our portfolio companies today, which include financial services, business services, consumer services, local businesses, software, e-commerce, and more. And 2, no matter how complex a money model looks, there's only 4 types of stuff you can sell: software, information, services, and physical products. And money models work in all of them, which, if your business sells stuff, includes yours. So I've used money models my whole life. They got me to where I am. Everything I've accomplished, I have a money model to thank for it. So I know this works from experience and not theory. So I'm going to deliver for 2 types of people today. Number 1, the up-and-coming entrepreneurs. You need to put on your oxygen mask and take care of yourself and your family first. I promise you, I will help you get closer to that today for free, period. So you're going to want to stay until the end because I'm going to deliver on that big time. You have my word. And then second, the business owners, the players, the money makers. I'm going to make it in your best interest to help me help everyone else. And if you decide to join me, I'll show you how we can accomplish both our goals together. So here's what we're going to cover in our short time together today. Number 1, what you're going to get from being here. Number 2, what kills 82% of businesses? As much as I'd love to say it's lack of hard work, it's not that. Number 3, the one thing that makes a business impossible to kill. And number 4, how to apply it to your business today. So let's start with the first, what you're gonna get for being here. So let's start by addressing the elephant in the room. Am I really gonna give everyone here who's live a secret project I've been working on for 4 years that's better than an NFT and less than a Bitcoin? Yes. 1,000% yes. And every single person here live today will get one for free. But I can't tell you what it is yet. You'll have to stay and find out. But just so you know it's legit, this is something that I will sell. And at the end of this live stream, I'll tell you how to get it for free, so watch out for that. Now to the main event. I'd never expect you to take my word for how powerful money models are. I want to prove it to you. So without further ado, $100 million money models, how to make money. So let me explain. I'm a big believer in proof. Anyone can make promises, very few people have proof. And every book I've written to this point, I kept proof front and center. To do that, I make sure each of my books walks their talk. So they not only tell you what to do, but they also prove what amazing things can happen if you do it. For offers, I posted and ghosted. No fanfare, no launch, no nothing. But the book answered the question, what do I sell? Answer, offer so good, people feel stupid saying no. It proved it could answer that question by demonstrating the concept it outlined, creating a Grand Slam offer. It had a rock bottom introductory price. It included a free course with higher quality stuff than most people's paid stuff, with no strings attached, not even an opt-in, truly available to anyone and everyone. It was high value. $100 million offers has what I describe as a high price to value discrepancy. In other words, you got way more than you paid for. So $100 million offers grew on word of mouth. Those are the actual sales. And 4 years later, it's still a bestseller across multiple categories. That's as of August 25. With 26,000 5-star reviews, which today millions have watched, read, or listened to. All of this undeniable proof that the ideas, principles, and tactics work. And so after releasing that book in July of 2021, I immediately got to work on my next book to answer the next question. Who do I sell my offer to? Answer, leads, aka the strangers who want to buy your stuff. But there was a problem. I'd successfully advertised my whole life, but I just didn't have enough proof in modern day social media. So I used the next 24 months for one thing, proof. Proof that the stuff that I show in $100 million leads actually works to get leads today in the real world, and it could work for you too. So I applied only the principles and tactics in $100 million leads to grow my audience from just a handful of customers and friends to over 5 million plus people. And so this is where I started on YouTube. This was 24 months later. This is where I started my podcast. This was 24 months later. But the point is this. This massive growth resulted in 463,167 registrations for the leads launch and breaking the internet. All through direct application of the $100 million leads principles, proving you can use them to advertise anything to anyone at scale. And 2 years later, thanks to $100 million leads, I've gone from 5 million person audience to a 13 plus person audience again. So I use all the principles in this book because they clearly still work. So not only did my own growth prove the book worked, but the mega launch made it undeniable. But something was still missing. Because even if you have the thing to sell, offers, and the people to sell it to, leads, you still have another question to answer. How do you get them to give you money? And ideally, as much as possible, as fast as possible, over and over again. Answer? A $100 million money model. But like the other 2 books, I still needed proof. A way to prove the concepts inside the book undeniably work. So here's my undeniable proof $100 million money models work. We've sold more books before this launch than we sold in the entire launch last time. And we haven't even released it yet. So now you know I won't publish a book until the book itself serves as its own undeniable proof. That way you don't have to guess if it's going to work, you can know. And if you wanted even more proof, Judge, Brittany, how many people do we peek at so far?
113,000.
113,000. Not bad. So if proof that installing a $100 million money model into a business can help it generate more cash flow is what you're going to get here today, the next thing to figure out is how to scale it. But instead of asking, how do we scale a business? To get the most efficient answer, we can use what Uncle Charlie taught us, inversion, and ask, how do we kill one? So that's what we'll cover next. What kills 82% of businesses? So when we ask, how do we kill a business, besides giving up, obviously, there's only one thing. You run out of money. According to a study by US Bank, a source I trust, given they have billions of dollars on the line, 82% of businesses fail due to poor cash flow. Said differently, if you've got no money, you've got no business. You can't even pay annual filing fees to keep your business open without money. So here's something you probably didn't know. What percent of businesses do you think lose money every year? 10%? 15%? 18%? Not even close. Try 3 times that. According to the Federal Reserve, 54% of businesses lose money or break even every year. That means you work 80-hour weeks year-round to miss restful weekends, holidays, school plays, family dinners, birthdays, nights out, all to take on more risk than any person reasonably should, and end up poorer than you started. And it shouldn't be that way. But then you might think, well, the other 46% must be balling. Guess again. Of the 46% that make any money at all, what do you think they're taking home? Well, if you listen to Instagram, you think everyone's a millionaire, obviously. Nope. What about 250 grand a year? 100 grand a year? 74,000 a year? Just the median income of a US household? Nope. According to the 2024 Census Bureau data, the median income listed on tax returns for a business owner is, drum roll please, $48,000 a year. Just a fraction more than San Francisco's minimum wage. All to get sued, stolen from, and called the bad guy for trying to make it on your own. And that's a problem. And that's what I'm gonna help solve today. And even if you're doing well, everything I'm about to share will just help you scale faster, all right? Now, all of this together tells us one thing. If you own a business, then at some point, no matter how hard you work, you'll likely have times where you lose money trying to get and serve new customers. In other words, you spend more money on customers than they spend on you. That's a big problem. Because if you do that long enough, your business will die. Which brings us to point 3. The one thing that makes a business impossible to kill. So we've hit a fork in the road. Either, option 1, be like most businesses and be limited by cash flow to grow. Or, option 2, get paid a lot, fast, on repeat, and grow as much as you darn well please. A $100 million money model is option 2. $100 million money models use a big fancy equation that looks like this, which says 30-day gross profit is greater than 2 times cost of acquiring a customer plus cost of goods sold, or CAC plus COGS. And that's big and fancy. But in the real world, it just starts with an offer. An offer is a problem you solve for customers in exchange for money. A money model is a sequence of offers. A $100 million money model is a sequence of offers that make customers spend twice as much on you as you do on them in 30 days or less. And when you do that, you remove cash as a limiter for growth. To do this, $100 million money models use 4 powerful mechanisms. Attraction offers, which get people to buy, which means more cash up front. Upsell offers, which get them to spend more, which means even more cash up front. Downsell offers, which get them to buy something if they say no, which results in more cash up front. Or continuity offers, which get them to buy repeatedly, which results in more cash over time. End result, more cash flow from more customers in less time. A $100 million money model. And cash flow is the key. It's the only thing that guarantees you can stay in business. So let me prove it to you. What do JP Morgan, GE, Ford, Amex, Coca-Cola, 3M all have in common? They're all over 100 years old, which they could only get to by surviving the hardest times and biggest economic shifts in modern history, things that killed most businesses. They survived World War I, World War II, the Great Depression, the advent of the radio, the advent of the television, the advent of the computer, the advent of the internet, the advent of social media, and they were only able to survive because they had cash flow, because they had a better money model. In other words, they kept making money. So if they could survive all that, then it shows us good money models make bad leads, bad customers, bad reviews, bad hires, bad lawsuits, bad economies, and everything else that kills businesses like yours and mine a walk in the park. Said differently, many business owners do everything right. except for the one thing that keeps businesses going and growing: making money. In other words, they've got broken money models, which makes all their focus on everything else in their business the same as obsessing over the aerodynamics of a car when in reality the engine doesn't even start. So if cash flow is the most important thing, and a money model is the most powerful way to increase it, how do we make a good one? Well, you build a $100 million money model. So here's what it looks like when it's right. If you make more offers and more people buy them, you make more money. If you make more money, you can use it to get more customers. If that money comes faster, the faster you get even more customers. But what if you make your customers twice as valuable, you get twice as many of them, and they pay you at twice the speed? Answer: your business grows 8 times as fast. But what if you make your customers 3 times as valuable, get 3 times as many of them, and they pay you at 3 times the speed? Your business grows 27 times as fast. A $100 million money model is how my gym scaled from 0 to 6 locations in 3 years as a 22-year-old. It's how Jim launched my second company, scaled from $380,000 a month to $2.2 million a month in 12 months. It's how Prestige Labs, my third company, went from $270,000 a month to $1.6 million a month in 6 months. A $100 million money model is how Alan, my fourth company, went from $50,000 a month to $1.3 million a month in 6 months. And this was all before I had a personal brand. With a $100 million money model, you can get really big, really profitable, really fast, without starting with loads of money or followers, and all with just a few tweaks. And that's the concept I'll illustrate the rest of our time together. That being said, let me show you what happens to a normal business when you add in a $100 million money model. So that's what makes a business impossible to kill. Now we get into applying it to your business today. So the purpose of this section is to show you 2 things. Number 1, money model mechanisms work for any business because there's only 4 ways to sell and they work in all of them. And then second, one money model mechanism is all you need to get amazing results. So before you think to yourself, I'm not sure this concept applies to my business, which I call special snowflakeitis, and you should get that looked at. All right. There's only 4 ways to sell stuff. You have in-person, you have online, you've got with a salesman, and you've got self-checkout or on your own, which then give us salesman in person, salesman online, self-checkout in person, self-checkout online. So really quickly, identify which one you are, number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4. Can you drop this in the chat? 1, 2, 3, or 4, which one you are right now? Drop it in. All right, great. 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s. There we go. All right. Which means that your business can scale using a money model. So that's number 1. Check. Now we move on to number 2. One money model mechanism is all you need to get amazing results. As a reminder, here are the 4. Attraction offers, which get people to buy. Upsell offers, which get them to buy more. Downsell offers, which get them to buy something if they say no. Or continuity offers, which get them to buy repeatedly. Now let me prove it to you in the real world. Let's break down a consumer service money model with a salesman in person. So if you sell in person, put one in the chat. I saw a bunch of the ones. This is for you guys. All right, in-person salespeople or in-person business owners, this is for you. Now let me tell you about my first good money model. My gym grew because I changed my attraction offer to get new customers. So here's most gyms' bad money model. So they do a free trial into a gym membership. So here's how that works. So they spend $100 to get 1 free trial. It takes 3 trials to get 1 $100 per month paying member, which means it costs $300 per paid member who pays $100 a month, which means it takes 3 months to break even. But many members quit in 4. So here's how a $100 million money model fixed it. This is my $100 million gym money model. Win your money back into gym membership. So I spend the same $100 to get a customer instead of a trial. The customer spends $500 up front with a win your money back offer, which works like this. You set a goal for the customer and tell them how to reach it. If they reach it, then they qualify to get their money back or get it back as store credit. After they win their money back as store credit, I make a special continuity offer to get them to buy again. Result, I make way more cash flow than the bad model within 30 days. The cash let me scale to 6 locations in 3 years as a kid in my 20s. The money model worked so well, I could fill new locations with paying members before they opened. I went from sleeping on the floor to 6-pack locations, and then eventually licensed the model to thousands of gyms. But here's the bottom line. Both gyms, the free trial gym or the win your money back gym, deliver the same service, use the same equipment, have access to the same trainers, sell the same types of memberships. But one makes way more. The one with the better money model. So there might not be anything wrong with your business. You might just have something wrong with your money model. So that was a consumer service money model with the salesman in person. This time we'll do a B2B service money model with the salesman online. So that includes DMs, DM selling, email selling, phone sales, Zoom sales, any other digital sales that you have a salesperson behind it, getting people to buy stuff. So let me tell you about my second $100 million money model. So if you do sell online or over the phone, put a 2 in the chat because this one's for you. All right? All right. Yeah, we got a lot of 2s. All right. Heard. So Gym Launch got customers easily because my attraction offer worked. But getting people to buy continuity was hard. They had no reason to buy my next thing once I'd already gotten them tons of leads. So here was my mediocre money model. I sold a $16,000 launch package. That's it. So I spent money to get them on the phone. It took 3 calls to sell a new customer, but then they wouldn't buy my next continuity offer. So they'd leave, and I would be sad. So every week, I had to start from 0 to make payroll. Stressful. And so here's how a $100 million money model fixed it. On one sales call, I desperately needed to close, and so I unknowingly made a new offer that I now call a continuity bonus offer. So here's how it works. You give the customer an awesome thing for free if they join continuity. Typically, the bonus itself has more value than the first payment. And it crushed. So people started taking my continuity bonus offer, and instead of leaving, they bought something at 3 times the price. And so my continuity started stacking and stacking. You can see the exact moment I nail the money model right there. Like you can see it was kind of flat and then boom. And then we went from $380,000 a month to $1.76 million in 6 months. And this is how I filled up a room like this with people paying $42,000 a year. And then 12 weeks later, a room like this. And then a quarter or so later, a room like this. And then a quarter or so after that, a room like this. Look at the timeline between the pictures. December of 17, March of 18, August of 18, February of 19. We scaled big, fast in a small niche and beat our competition and then sold to private equity. And the main reason is this. Just look at the numbers. The difference the continuity offer made to LTV was huge. You can see it in the purple at the bottom. Imagine changing your offer mechanism and seeing that kind of increase without it costing you any more to get customers. The key point is this. We sold the same stuff in both scenarios. The same core service. But a better money model changed the business. And once I nailed my continuity bonus mechanism, gyms bought and stuck. But they didn't have my entire money model down. That led me to my next $100 million money model. So that was a B2B service business with online sales. This time we'll do a business to consumer business with a self-checkout in person, right? So if you sell people where they check out in person, drop a 3 in the chat. This is especially for my retail folks. All right. So I had all these gyms relying on me. Ad costs were going up, and they needed more money to afford ads or they stopped getting customers. Kiss of death for them and me. So to cover my ad costs in my gyms, I upsold supplements. That's how I could outspend my competition. So I figured I'd teach gyms to upsell supplements. That makes sense. And I figured if I was going to do that, then they might as well be mine. And so Prestige Labs was born. So gyms bought in, but their customers weren't buying from them. A problem. So it was only after I taught my 4-part menu upsell mechanism, where you unsell what they don't need, prescribe what they do need, ask if they prefer A or B, then make it easy to pay, that it started working and customers started buying. Sales went from $270,000 a month, watch this one, to $1.6 million a month in 2 months, 8 weeks. You can see the moment when the menu upsell kicked in. And I'm not saying this is going to happen for you. That's not my point here. But I'm saying that when you can nail the money model, it can change everything. And so once they had a better money model, it all clicked. And the key point is this. They literally sold the same product, the same exact jars of protein and pre-workouts. They sold the same thing. But with a better money model, they made more money. And now with my menu upsell offer mechanism, gyms could afford leads again. And during COVID, having the supplement revenue line kept many lights on and households fed. We demonstrated that despite going through hard times, which COVID for gyms was very hard, a $100 million money model could still generate strong cash flow. And that's one of the only reasons I was able to sell a gym company to private equity during COVID. Think about that. So that was an in-person self-checkout money model. This time we'll do an online checkout money model. So if you sell through online checkout, drop a 4 in the chat. So that's, someone buys, whether it's software, information, physical product, whatever it is, they can click and then buy. All right, we got some 4s? All right, sweet. So after I'd taken out distributions and gotten paid from the sale of both companies, I started making content to attract companies to ACQ and waited for my next big money model. And that's when School came along. School's a platform that helps anyone build monetizable communities online. You can live stream one-to-many, host client calls, have in-person meetups, have one-time sales, host competitions, have unlimited pricing tiers, create lifetime deals, free trials, free groups, paid groups, private groups, process payments, all in one place. But here was the money model when we started. 14 days free, then $99 a month. School grew with free trials, hit 1 million users, but it took 3 years. So we made a new attraction offer. We added the School games, which had competition, rewards, and fun. And users exploded. We went from 1 million users to 15 plus million users in 18 months. That's 83,000 users a month to 775,000 new users a month. That's 3.5 times faster growth. Just look at the difference between these two graphs. And here's the best part. This new money model made School cash flow positive, completely unheard of for a platform at this scale growing this fast. It freed up cash to invest even more into the product and make School 10 times better. So that takes us up to present day and shows that money models work in all 4 ways to sell, including the way you sell. And shows us one of each attraction, upsell, downsell, and continuity offer mechanisms. And normally that would be enough, but we're all here. So that brings me to my last $100 million money model. The book launch event itself, which is one of these, number 4, self-checkout online. A free book launch like this costs millions to put on. And let everyone know so they can show up also costs millions. But instead of losing millions, I built a money model that used pre-orders with various money model mechanisms to both make this event free and have the funds to let everyone know about it. So let me show you what we did to demonstrate the ideas of the book with the book. So instead of just releasing a book, we offered a free event, y'all are here now, plus for anyone who registered, we offered VIP status if you pre-ordered, by offering you more value for the same price than if you waited. Way more value. Lots and lots more value. This is called a pay less now or pay more later mechanism. After that, I offered 2 hard copies of my ACQ handbooks free if you bought 15 more copies, which is a buy X, get Y free offer, which I use in at least 7 different ways. More on that later. So here's what happened. Day 1, I spent $22,000 and got $34,000 back. Day 2, I spent $26,000 and got $38,000 back. Day 3, I spent $21,000 and got $49,000 back. But here's the important part. On top of that, we got 13,184 folks to find out about this event for free. So we just kept doubling down, using house money to scale this all the way up. And so the bottom line is this. We spent $4 million plus on advertising and got 6.5 million back. So even though this cost millions to do, I didn't need millions to do it. And this is the key point here. Look at the beginning spend. I didn't drop $4 million day one. As long as you can make more back and keep recycling it through, that's what makes this magical. All I needed was a $100 million money model. After that, the launch funds itself. Once a money model works, it's kind of like playing with house money at the casino, right? This is how I scaled my gyms fast, even though I started at 22 with very little. This is how, when I lost everything twice, I was able to get it back so fast. You just need enough to get that first customer, and then after that, you double down. You set up a $100 million money model to create cash flow to grow, and then get out of the way. Because there's only 4 ways to sell stuff, and money models work in all 4. And when you build a business with a $100 million money model, you can spend as much as you want to get people to find out about your stuff because you have the cash flow to do it. If you do it well, of course. It takes skill and time. My results are from both. Yours will differ. All right, but given the size of this event, now you know it works at any scale, in any industry, at any price. So as long as a business sells something, there's a money model that scales it. That's how powerful it is. Yes, including your business, you who are here with me right now. These are the skills that have been most valuable in my life. So if you're anything like me, they're definitely skills worth learning. And I want to transfer them to you to the best of my ability. So here's what we covered so far. Cash flow is the only thing a business needs to survive. If each customer pays for 2 more, you remove cash as a limiter for growth. A $100 million money model is a sequence of offers engineered to get customers to pay for 2 more. The 4 money model mechanisms are attraction, upsell, downsell, and continuity. There's only 4 ways to sell stuff: online self-checkout, online with salesperson, in person with self-checkout, in person with a salesperson. $100 million money models work for all businesses: brick and mortar, B2B, consumer services, online businesses, SaaS, and physical products. And $100 million money models made its own launch profitable using its own concepts before it was even released. Can you see how a better money model, getting more customers to spend more money in less time over and over again, can unlock the growth you want? Can you see how having a better money model helps you grow on your own without taking on bad debts, lame investors, or terrible partners? Can you see how a stronger money model can help you weather the bad storms, bad hires, and inevitable bad economies to come? Can you see how mastering money models could change your entire business or life without changing your product or delivery? Can you see how your business, big or small, online or in person, with salespeople or without, can use $100 million money model to scale? In short, can you see why building the best money model possible is a skill worth having? And this skill may just be the bridge between where you are and wherever you want to go. At least it has been for me. So let me ask you a question. Who here would like to master this skill? If so, drop a rocket in the chat. It's a rocket emoji, if you will. Thank you for spelling rocket out. Yes, we're dropping rocket in the chat. Great. Now to be clear, people don't fly out to my headquarters or ask us to invest in their business because they think I understand HVAC, plumbing, insurance, lawn care, coding, hair saloning, legaling, or their business in any way better than them. They come because I understand the mechanisms of making money and how to combine them in the right order. In other words, they come because I know how to build money models. So, the result of implementing these skills every day for more than 13 years, the best of what I know about generating hundreds of millions a year through acquisition.com, what took me from gym floor to doing very cool stuff like this. It's with great pride that I introduce to you the $100 million money model system. With this system, you have the opportunity to wield, chain, stack, and combine all 15 money model mechanisms with devastating effect. With the $100 million money model system, you can learn to master monetization. You'll have access to the tools that I personally use to transform businesses like yours and mine into cash flow machines. To have the cash flows to buy yourself the time, the talent, and the advertising to scale. $100 million money models is the most how-to system I've ever made. And judging by the world record we just unofficially broke in the beginning, possibly ever made. So here's the first thing you get in the $100 million money model system. Convert strangers into first-time buyers with a traction accelerator. If you're someone who doesn't get enough replies or opt-ins, or your web pages don't convert, or people don't trust you enough to buy from your content, or your leads just cost too much, then pay attention, this is for you. So remember how I scaled to 6 locations? I was able to do that with just one attraction offer mechanism. So here's what they are. An attraction offer is something free or discounted that gets a customer in the door but makes money by getting them to buy something better at a higher price. So here's why they matter. Without attraction offers, you're stuck competing on price or hoping people randomly find you, which keeps you struggling to grow and scrambling to find customers. So here's why doing them right is important. Done wrong, you lose money on every customer and go out of business. Done right, customers pay you more than it costs to get them on day one, giving you unlimited growth potential. So here's what's inside. My 5 most unique and increasingly powerful attraction mechanisms. Number 1, win your money back. With this reverse psychology method, customers pay you full price and then work like maniacs to win their money back. This backwards approach gets insane results, reviews, and referrals. Attraction mechanism number 2, giveaways. It's a 7-day formula that puts strangers into buy mode within a week. And using grand prizes the specific way I'll show you, floods your business with people who already want your most expensive stuff and are pre-qualified to buy it. Number 3, a dummy offer that gets customers to ignore your cheap stuff because they like your expensive stuff even more, even though it costs way more than expected. This attraction mechanism makes expensive feel cheap and turns browsers into buyers. Number 4, buy X, get Y free. A quantity multiplier that gets customers to buy way more than they planned and thank you for it. This attraction mechanism turns discount offers into irresistible free offers that get people to buy higher quantities of stuff or months of service on the spot. Number 5, pay less now or pay more later. A speed bonus strategy that uses delays to get customers to pay you faster to get a better deal. This early bird strategy gets people to choose your higher value offers right now because the longer they wait, the more they miss out on. Now, even a single attraction mechanism can change your business overnight. Because when you chain, stack, and combine them, you get endless ways to make whatever you sell more attractive without changing what you sell. So picture this. Tomorrow, without changing anything about what you sell, you wrap your current offer in an attraction mechanism. And suddenly, way more people come out of the woodwork asking to find out more who normally ignore what you have. And when done right, sometimes an attraction mechanism is just one tweak from feeding a business for life. So think about your current leads. Could you get more and make more money from them by nailing just one of these attraction offer mechanisms? So here's why I was forced to learn this. So the first time I started letting people know about my stuff, I did not have a flood of interest. If anything, people barely cared. It took me years to figure out how to transform something boring to exciting and turn strangers into buyers. That's what attraction offers do. But Attraction Accelerator came at a high cost. The cost of wasting millions in stupid mistakes, enduring an endless stream of painful failures, making thousands of little tweaks that I had to figure out on my own. But above all else, it cost me a decade of my life that you'd have to go through trying to figure out how to perfect each of these mechanisms. Attraction Accelerator helps you skip all of that. And so the bottom line is this. A correctly installed attraction offer is so valuable, you could literally ignore everything I show you and get more paying customers tomorrow. If you do this, it'd be the cheapest thing you ever invest in. And given that I charge $15,999 for licensing just one attraction mechanism to business owners, I think it's reasonable to value Attraction Accelerator. That includes not one, but all 5 attraction mechanisms for $15,999. So that's the first thing you get. Now, if you're someone who doesn't get leads to buy enough, at high enough prices, or they take multiple conversations to close, or they delay until they never do, then pay attention, this is for you. Turn every sale into an even bigger sale with epic upsells. So here's why this matters. Attraction mechanisms get customers to make their first purchase. But if you want to maximize cash flow, you need to get them to buy more. So what's the answer? Epic upsells. So here's what they are. Upsells are whatever you offer next. Upsell mechanisms involve more, better, or newer versions of whatever they just bought. And they either solve a problem the earlier purchase reveals, or they enhance value. So here's why doing them right is important. When done wrong, people feel pressured, oversold, and taken advantage of. When done right, people love them and give you more money. Great. So here's what you're going to get inside. Epic upsells give you my 4 most used mechanisms to turn first-time buyers into bigger spenders. Upsell mechanism number 1, classic upsells. A problem reveal method where customers sell themselves on your next offer without you needing to mention it. This upsell mechanism gets customers to realize they need your next thing right after they buy your first thing. Number 2, menu upsells. I talked about this briefly earlier. A helpful consultant process that gets customers to realize you're not selling them stuff they don't need. once you earn this trust, they'll take that next thing that you offer, usually buying way more expensive stuff faster and feeling grateful for it. This thing slays. You have to use it ethically. Number 3, anchor upsells. A sticker shock strategy that gets customers to happily spend way more than planned. After using it myself, I find customers are relieved to pay way more than they planned because your main thing looks like an incredible deal by comparison, and it is. Number 4, rollover upsells. A pay-it-forward system that turns new customers into your highest paying repeat buyers and gets old customers more excited about your next offer. By getting customers to see a great deal right now, this upsell mechanism gets them to spend more money overall and faster. So here's why I was forced to figure this out. So early on, I got rejected a lot. Person after person told me they didn't want what I had. So I got nervous asking for sales, and then I'd freeze up. And I was right to be nervous because my approach sucked and I turned people off. And so instead, I figured out mechanisms to make upsells not only natural, make it obvious the next offer is worth getting. And I want to save you the 100 of blown sales and millions in trial and error. They work without any real sales skills. You just present them. And so there's a right and a wrong way to do these, and I'll show you the best way. So I sold my supplement sales system for Prestige Labs, which included just one of these mechanisms, for $6,000. It helped gyms generate over $23.6 million in verified earnings. That's not revenue. That was their earnings. And so Epic Upsells gives you all 4, which is why I value it conservatively at $5,999. And given these mechanisms work for thousands of businesses, do you think you can get even one more person a month to take an upsell? So here's what you get. You get a Traction Accelerator valued at $15,999. You get Epic Upsells valued at $5,999. Total value, $21,998. Now I want to talk to somebody else in the audience. If you're someone who constantly hears no when you're selling, or you do payment plans and you get ghosted, or you push too hard and then sometimes you regret it, or you give out panic discounts to close the sale, or sometimes you just give up altogether when you hear no, this is for you. Turn every no into cash flow with dealmaker downsells. So here's why it matters. Attraction mechanisms are for getting the first purchase. Upsell mechanisms are designed to get the next one. But what if people say no? Answer, dealmaker downsells. Downsell mechanisms activate when customers say no. They're usually a change in payment structure, quality or quantity, or offer different conditions. Here's why doing them right is important. A proper downsell mechanism doesn't try to get customers to say yes to something they don't want. It's about getting them to say yes to something else they do. When done wrong, customers don't finish paying, they start haggling, or they don't buy and hate you. Here's what you get inside. Dealmaker Downsell will give you my 3 simplest, most used, and highest converting mechanisms to turn a no into a yes. And the best part is you can use all 3 to boost cash flow without any sales skills. I use them in every business I own. And so here's how you use them. Anywhere someone can say no, you can and should install a downsell mechanism and turn it into a yes. Downsell mechanism number 1, payment plan downsells. A cash flow algorithm that steps down customers from I can't afford it to when can I start without lowering your prices. I'll show you proven payment chunking that maximizes purchases and cash flow. Plus, I'll show you my seesaw technique that makes customers choose between huge cash savings now or tiny payments later. It's sick. Number 2, trial downsells. So this is a skin in the game strategy that turns no's into yeses by letting customers prove to themselves that when they use your stuff as directed, it's worth paying for with a catch. The catch stops you from wasting money or time on free tire kickers. This downsell mechanism gets people to use your product right away, see real results, and then pay for it. This is awesome for beginners. Number 3, feature downsell. So this is a custom fitting formula that turns no's into yeses by giving customers exactly what they want at a price they can afford. And with my lock and key process, you just change qualities, quantities, or other product options to maximize what they pay for the value they get. So I'll show you how to balance price versus value to get the most from every deal. I'll give you a hint, it's not a one-to-one. So here's why this exists. Dealmaker downsells are cash flow maximizers you've always needed but didn't know existed. They're the real sales secrets you always look for but can never find. And you've probably heard of some or all of these, right? You might have even tried them. The magic isn't in the concept, it's in the details, it's in the execution. And I'll show you how I've sharpened these after years of testing and combining iterations from different businesses and industries from all over the world. So this is also crazy to me because these mechanisms are huge for maximizing cash flow. Yet no one teaches the right time to use them, how to price them, or how to structure them to turn no's into cash flow. That's the difference. Dealmaker downsell mechanisms work everywhere. Checkout pages, calls, presentations, or in person. If you sell to humans, they work. I know because I use them in all sales formats, at all scales, across physical products, services, and digital businesses. So picture this. A prospect says, I can't afford $6,000. Instead of losing the sale, you say, okay, what if we did $250 a month for 24 months? And you knew they'd pay. If they actually want your thing, then they'd say, yeah, no brainer. And if every week you turn one no into cash flow, it makes a massive difference at the end of the year. Now turn the tables. Imagine someone offers you something for $6,000 and you really want it, but cash flow's tight this month. Then they say, no worries. Why don't you do 24 payments of $249? If you wanted it, that would probably make it a no-brainer. So you do it. The key is knowing when to offer it and how to make sure you get paid. Given we spent $6.5 million of research for school to master just one of these, number two, at 1/1000th the cost, this is a steal at $6,499. And given these mechanisms, do you think you can get even one more person per month to take a downsell? So here's what you get. You get a traction accelerator valued at $15,999. You get epic upsells to get people to spend more, valued at $5,999. You get dealmaker downsells to turn those no's into cash flow, valued at $6,499. Total value, $28,497. Now this next one is for those of you who are living sale to sale, week to week, on the cash flow roller coaster, and want to make consistent sales. I made this for you. Continuity blueprint, the holy grail of business. So here's what it is. A continuity mechanism gets customers to keep making payments as long as you keep providing value. When done right, it stacks stable and predictable cash flow that grows automatically. When done wrong, it leads to rapid cancellations that burn your reputation and make you a sitting duck in hard times. To truly maximize your cash flow, you have to stop chasing sales and build a customer base that gets bigger every month. But there's a problem. No one wants another monthly bill. So here's what you're going to get inside. I'll give you my 3 favorite continuity mechanisms designed to get people to want to opt into continuity and want to keep paying for continuity over time. So continuity mechanism number 1, bonus continuity. So this is a gift wrapping strategy where you give customers something awesome, but only if they sign up today. So this continuity mechanism dangles a bonus valuable enough to make customers' first month feel better than free. This is how I stacked recurring revenue at Gym Launch. And the way I do it, something I call the sliding scale, you can balance how much cash you collect up front versus how much you push into subscriptions. And this is ideal for low cash flow industries. Number 2, discount continuity. My free but when method that turns discounts into long-term commitments that boost cash flow. The mechanism has 5 sub-mechanisms, depending on the type of thing you sell, engineered to get customers to commit for an entire year up front and stay while making them feel like they're getting a steal. And they are. Number 3, waive fee continuity. So this is a penalty avoidance mechanism that incentivizes customers to avoid a big fee by committing long-term. Get people to choose commitments over flexibility by making flexibility cost more. The best part, you get to pick the price of flexibility. This works particularly well in any business that takes time and resources to onboard new customers or get customers' results. So I built my fortune on continuity. Gyms, supplements, software subscriptions. Breaking even getting recurring customers is the holy grail for making a company sellable and valuable. Continuity allowed us to sell all 3 brands in 2021 at a $46.2 million valuation. And every business wants recurring revenue, but customers don't want another subscription. These 3 mechanisms bridge that gap. So learn from my mistakes. It took me 13 years of trial and error to get recurring revenue stacking month over month. The errors I made cost me millions in profits. Every day you keep making them costs you too. And the worst part with continuity, these costs compound. So here's what it looks like when it's right. So picture this. You advertise, and instead of losing money getting people in the door and waiting months to recoup it, you break even or better. And each month you invest the extra cash flow of your recurring base into growth. Next month, it's more. The month after that, even more. That stacking is the power of continuity done right. For context, I sold a continuity system for gyms at $41,458 per year. And it only used one of these mechanisms. Inside the continuity blueprint, you'll get all 3. So it's reasonable to value this at least the same price of $41,458. So here's what you get. You get a traction accelerator, which includes my 5 favorite and most powerful attraction mechanisms, valued at $15,999. You get epic upsells, with 4 of the most powerful upsell mechanisms that I know in existence to get people to spend more money, valued at $5,999. Then if the person says no, don't worry. You've got 3 different trapdoors that you can use that I use to turn no's into cash flow, which I value at $6,499. And then finally, if you want to have that growth every month and build that base, is the continuity blueprint, valued at $41,458. Total value, $69,955. Result? You get more customers to spend more money in less time over and over again, resulting in each customer paying for themselves and the next customer, removing your limiter for growth, making your own $100 million money model. Once you learn how, you'll chain, stack, combine, layer, and sequence every money model mechanism like a monetization engineer. At the core, you do something simple. You find every problem customers have and offer to solve them at the right time, the right place, the right way. Do this, and you become a master of monetization. You can instantly make any product more compelling to more people and change nothing about what you deliver, just how they buy and how much they spend when they do. Correctly installing even one of these can literally change your life. You don't need to do anything else. Because if business feels hard, you may think the same thing that I did, that you need to change industries or switch businesses. But you really just need to change your money model. Listen, these systems are more valuable than the masterminds that sell for $25,000, $50,000, even $100,000 from goobers who've never even done it. And will give you hilariously more value than a 4-year degree. But to put this in perspective, if you paid my hourly rate for one-on-one money model strategy, it would cost you $1 million a day. And that's not marketer math, that's what I get paid right now. So if I price this at what it's worth, $69,955, it would be beyond reasonable for the entire system. And before I tell you the price, let me ask you a question. How much is double your lead flow worth to you? How much is double your cash flow worth to you? How much is double your growth worth to you? Actually think about it. Like, how much is that actually worth to you? Hold that number in your head. If you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that it would happen, which of course you can't because all business involves risk. My results aren't typical and your results will vary. But if you did, wouldn't it be worth at least that much? Because after $100 million offers, when $100 million leads came out, I got zillions of messages of people's lives and businesses being changed. And for all those guys, it would have been worth it at any price. And that's why the $100 million money model system is a bargain at not $69,955, but $29,997. And consider this. If all this did was allow you to start your first business like it did for me, or scale your businesses without followers or cash, or break through your multi-year plateau finally, or save your business from closing like it did for me during COVID. If all this did was in 24 months, give you the skills to launch an event like this, even 100th the size, using only what's inside, wouldn't it be worth it? I think so too. Which is why it's an even bigger bargain at not $29,997, but $9,997. Because if every week, all it does is get you one more customer at twice the value, at twice the speed, it'd be more than worth it. And the best part is, you only invest once. But you can monetize these skills for the rest of your life, which is why skills are always the best investment. Look, if I put my last $1,000 in the S&P 500 in 2016, which returns 9% a year, I'd have $2,400 today. But instead, I invested my last $1,000 in the S&P 500, skills, and turned that $1,000 into the business we have now. So which would you rather have? $9,997 or the business you want? Right, me too. Which is why this may be the best offer I've ever given at not $9,997, but $5,997. And because I want each of you to 2x, 5x, 10x your growth and business over the next 12 months. And to be clear, I want that for you, but in no way guarantee it because most people do nothing, so results will vary. But I know how life-changing this system has been for my family. And I want this to be affordable for everyone, but still an investment. I'm not going to ask for $69,955, even though it would be totally reasonable and a bargain. I'm not going to ask for $29,997. I'm not going to ask for $9,997. I'm not even going to ask for $5,997. $997. And given each book demonstrates the concept inside, it only makes sense that money models be about making money, that I charge something for the system. And I feel a duty to demonstrate how to make offers properly so people don't feel bad about making exceptional products available for purchase. Which is why I'm going to give you access to everything I talked about today: the Attraction Accelerator, Epic Upsells, Dealmaker Downsells, Continuity Blueprint, that will show you how to harness all 15 money model mechanisms in your business for 3 payments of 3 interest-free payments of $0. Yes. It's 100% free. It's all yours. It's my way of saying thank you for being a part of this movement. I almost forgot. On top of that, you'll also get the Money Models audiobook, 100% free. So you get both the Money Model system and the Money Models audiobook, all free. And for those of you who are here for my promise at the beginning, to get something that's better than an NFT and less than a Bitcoin, I've got something else for you here live. Did I say that I wrote just 1 book since last time? Well, I didn't. I wrote another book in secret. And so it's with great pride that I'd like to present to you The Lost Chapters. This thing is beautiful. This tome contains 24 chapters that I couldn't fit in offers, leads, or money models. It includes concepts like this, and this, and this, and a zillion more. And this will be for sale for $29.99 after this event. But for everyone here, you can get a free digital copy just for being here live now. So you get the Money Model system, you get the Money Models audiobook, and the Lost Chapters, all free. That's enough value, right? Yeah? Or is there even more? Because to not just read this stuff, but to actually use it, you're going to need the tools. So to make sure everyone who wants to start a business can use money models, one of my investment stipulations for school was that when the time was right, we could do 3 things. Number 1, add everything needed to make money models work into the platform itself, which with the features launching this month, we did. So that's number 1. Number 2, I wanted to give you enough free time to get going. So instead of 14 days free, you with me here today get not 14 days free, not 30 days free, not 45 days free, not even 60 days free, but 90 days free. And number 3, since inception, school's price has been $99 a month. It hasn't changed. But since you're here with me live today, for anyone who stays after the 90 days free, that gives you the time to get going to use this stuff, we drove down the price from $99 a month to only $9 a month. For life. But it's only for this book launch. So I'm proud to say, and maybe you'll agree with me, that we accomplished all 3. You can install the full money model second in the platform. You have 7 times the free time to actually get going. You know, 11 times cheaper price afterwards. So if you're an up-and-coming entrepreneur, this is your free tech starter kit. This is the best head start I can give you. I get it. I was broke. This is the head start I can give you. So you get the Money Model system, the Money Models audiobook, the Lost Chapters, and school, all free, and a lifetime lower rate after 90 days for $9. And so all those will be available Tuesday morning after the launch. So now at the beginning, I said I was going to help 2 types of people today. up-and-coming entrepreneurs. I promised you I would help you get closer to that today for free, period. And I just delivered the Money Model System, free. The Money Models audiobook, free. The Lost Chapters, free. 90 Days of School, free. And then 11 times lower price after that. Do you feel like I kept my promise? Hey guys, would you mind taking the slides down for a second? So, when I started this, like thinking of this idea for this book and how I was going to present it to the world, the first thing that I wrote down was kind of just something that I wanted to say, and I tried to weave it into the presentation, and I couldn't get it to work the way I wanted to. And so I figured maybe I would just read it to you. So hopefully you guys are cool with that. So I could only make this promise because I have a business, and I live in a country that allows me to do business. So I could give this stuff away that costs me money for free. And I want to tell you why now. So there's a mission I have here today. I want to show the world that one of us can start from nothing and achieve anything we put our hearts and minds to. So what do I mean by one of us? I mean the small business, the entrepreneur, entrepreneurs like you, like me, like all of us here together in this moment. We're the ones who, together, provide the jobs, create and innovate, and fuel the economy, no matter what country we're in. But we also take the most risk. We pay the most taxes. We work the longest hours. We miss more baseball games and dance recitals than any other group in the world. And all over the world, there are entrepreneurs, one of us, who are overworked. They're stressed out. They're worried about making payroll, about paying rent. And it shouldn't be like that. Because you, the entrepreneur, you're the ones who, along with your fellow entrepreneurs who sit with you here today, you are the ones who make the world go round. And not a single one of us should have to experience that stress, that overwhelm, that struggle, which is why I need your help. So sure, let's scale together, but let's do something more. To quote J.R.R. Tolkien in The Two Towers, there's some good in this world. It's worth fighting for. As you know, our mission has always been to make real business education accessible to everyone. But there's a deeper reason behind that mission, and I want to share it with you now. I think that if we can help our fellow entrepreneurs grow their business by even a tiny fraction of a percent each, the net effect could literally change the world. And that is the impact I want us to have together. As usual, I don't have a course to sell you. I just gave you all that stuff and more away for free. But I am so committed to helping our people change the world for the better that I do have an amazing gift I'd like to give you when you help me with this. So we can all agree that the stuff in this book works. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting here today. And if we accept that to be true, then we can also agree that the more businesses there are that have this book, the more we can help. The more we, this community of entrepreneurs, the very backbone of the world, the more we can work together to get this book into the hands of the people who need it. The more good we'll be doing for everyone. Which is why I'd like to invite you to do something big. So before I tell you what it is, to the beginners who just got all that free stuff, are you going to complain if I incentivize the business people to donate a ton of books? Great. Can you guys bring the slides back up? $100 million men, please bring out my table. Let's do this. All right. Well, then let's rock and roll. Oh, I need my clicker. There we go. Thank you. Are these guys great? Now, business owners, players, money makers, if you're in the game, I made this for you. I said I'd show you how it's in your best interest to help me, help everyone else, and how we can accomplish both our goals together. So I'm going to ask you to donate 200 books. That's $5,998 in book donations. Then I'm going to spend the next few minutes explaining why donating 200 books will be the best business decision that you make this year easily. Because 2 years ago, I'd already written the Money Models book. This is a picture of me at the last launch with the book when I showed it at the end. I'd already recorded the Money Models audio. I'd already assembled the Money Model system, the whole thing. And then I asked myself, if I wanted business owners to help me get these books in the hands of every entrepreneur in America, that's 32.5 million people, what would be the most valuable thing I could do to incentivize business owners to have them help me make it happen? My answer, working one-on-one with you to implement everything I know into your specific business today. So I did something crazy, or at least a little unorthodox. Only weeks after my last book launch, I started inviting business owners out to my headquarters for small, private, in-person workshops. And hearing that, you might be thinking, for a guy with an international 13 million plus person audience, offering small, private, in-person workshops using his actual portfolio team might be the dumbest, least scalable model imaginable. And you'd be right, if you didn't know why I did it. You see, I started these workshops weeks after the last launch to prepare for this one. And over the last 18 months, we met in person with over 1,026 plus small businesses across all these industries, a lot. And across all these different revenue brackets, also a lot. And I didn't do all these meetings, all these workshops, all these consultations because I thought they were scalable. They're not. I did it all for this moment, to get one thing, data. I wanted to know once and for all the problems you're dealing with right now, what's limiting your growth today, your bottlenecks at this moment, everything that's keeping you up at night, everything that's holding you back, everything that's keeping you stuck. And after meeting with 1,026 plus businesses in person, we codified everything. And every business's growth was constrained by one of four things. Leads, you can't get enough qualified prospects. Sales, you can't convert the prospects you got into customers. Delivery, you can't retain the customers you got long enough. Or you're doing the first three, but your bank account doesn't show it. So we developed complete systems to fully solve every constraint. 4 systems in total. The leads constraint, we solved the lead system. The sales constraint, created the sales system. The delivery constraint, created the delivery system. And the profit constraint, created the profit system. No small task. But here's what makes these systems different from everything else out there. These aren't theories. They're tested solutions, each developed by working with 1,026 plus real businesses directly. Every system contains the exact processes, scripts, and literal checklists we give our $35,000 plus advisory clients to break through their biggest constraints. And these aren't digital downloads or PDFs, and they never will be. They're just too valuable. And there's not some login that you'll never use or some file that you'll scroll through and then forget. This had to be a physical implementation system. You're getting something that you can hold, reference, and display on your shelf and implement from. Something with hard cost and real value, all bound together, organized by system in one premium binder. Each system contains its own set of playbooks. So let me show you what's inside. Don't worry, I'll make it nice and pretty for you. Here we go. There we go. Boom. All right. So, for the lead system, there's 4 playbooks. 1, 2, 3, 4. For the sales system, there's 3 playbooks. For the delivery system, there's 2 playbooks. And for the profit system, there's 3 playbooks. To solve all codified constraints. And given 1,026 plus business owners just paid $35,000 for just part of one playbook, just part of one of these, just part of one, that unlocks their specific business constraint. All 12 is $420,000 of real and true have charged for it value. And today, right now, I want to put all 12 in your hands when you help me put 200 books in the hands of the entrepreneurs who need them. That's $5,998 in book donations. And you're going to want to get them right now at go.acq.com. Now, I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news is I secured a partnership through a firm to make it affordable to anyone who wants to donate. So even more of you who want to get the playbooks can. And if you qualify through a firm, you can donate books to get everything in your hands for as little as $249 a month interest-free. If you aren't seeing a firm, you can hit the little 3 dots on the top and then check out as guest. It's also on the bottom. That's if you're already logged into Shopify. Anyways, at $249 a month, it comes out to donating 2 books a week. That's it. And I made donating super easy by hiring and training 300 plus phone reps to help anyone out who has issues checking out. You'll see their number on any field checkout, just call and they'll help you. But on top of that, when you support the other entrepreneurs by donating books, you won't have to wait until Tuesday for the free stuff. You'll get access to everything now. Now for the bad news. I only assembled 25,000 of these implementation systems. It's likely we'll sell 25,000 of these implementation systems. Just to put this in perspective, there are 113,000 of you here live. I also plan on emailing my 1.4 million person list with this offer. We also have 21,990 affiliates. And to be clear, that's not 21,990 people. That's 21,990 audiences, a mountain of people, which is already way more than the number of systems I assembled. And with 3 million plus people, we need less than 1% of businesses to donate. But historically, less than 1% is fairly low for a live book launch like this. For context, about 2% is the normal lead conversion rate for a live launch. My last launch, for example, we converted 56,506 out of 463,000, so 12.2%, significantly higher. Now, this is a different offer, but also way more people. So it's reasonable that we'll be at what I think between 3 and 5%, which would move all 25,000 quickly. Now, if you're wondering why I did this, it's for 2 reasons. 1, scarcity changes behavior, and I wanted to give the business owners who cared the most a good reason to act the fastest in the best ways I know how. And 2, I just didn't order enough. So if you want to guarantee yours, grab them now, because it's mathematically probable that we will sell the 25,000. And the donation deal will only get better, as you'll soon see. And for the ultra business owners who always ask, do you have anything more if we donate even more? For the first time ever, the answer is yes, and you will like it. It's the number 1 request I've had from business owners for 4 years. It's a one-time thing I'm only doing for this launch. It includes access to me for 6 months, along with some serious goodies you'd only appreciate as a serious business owner, if you donate even more books. But you gotta grab the 200 books to see that. You'll see that ultra business owner bonus on the 200 purchase confirmation page. Anyways, quick logistics. The 200 books you donate get sent to entrepreneurs who need them. You don't have to worry about physically storing or shipping the donated books. That was the number 1 request from last year. If you want any copies for yourself, you'll get a code to get as many as you want, up to $199. Just pay shipping and handling whenever you redeem it. The code is good for a year. Any books that you don't use or give away, we will. And yes, this entire donation is a 100% dollar for dollar tax deduction for businesses. And to use a firm, remember, just check out as guest. Now, for all my international folks, I'm very proud to say the team worked so hard to do this. We're live in 50 countries, which is absolutely absurd. Last year, I think we had 8. All right, international shipping, by the way, super expensive because books are heavy and because physics is real. And to fly a book over an ocean, it costs money. So blame your governments for taxes and physics for existing. All right, that being said, I put on the screen quickly what countries we're going to right now. Basically, I had the option of expensive shipping or not shipping there at all. So we went with that. So while you guys check out, here's what you're getting. You're donating 200 books. You're getting 200 books of real value. And the first system that you're going to get is the Leads implementation system. These playbooks give you the tools to unlock unlimited leads for yourself, like how to scale ads with the Go to Ads playbook, how to write hooks that sell, not just get views with the hooks playbook, how to build a reputation that gets the right people to buy with the branding playbook, and build the operational flows to remove yourself from marketing entirely with the Marketing Machine playbook. So let's take a look inside. So, there we go. The first is the Go to Ads playbook. So have you ever hit a ceiling on your ad spend? Your CPAs go crazy, CAC goes really high, can't scale past a certain point? This playbook gives you the exact process we follow to break through ad spend ceilings and keep scaling. So here's just a fraction of what's inside. The ad assembly process, which shows how to turn 5 ads into 600 ads per month using Hook Meet CTA. our ad scaling strategy, which shows you how to target every customer segment from completely aware to most aware. This is how you actually scale creative and hooks to break into new markets and new customer segments. And the 70-20-10 framework, so you can juice winning campaigns way longer and duplicate them more easily. So that's the first playbook that you get inside of the Leads implementation system. The second is the hooks playbook. If you create any content, ads, social media, emails, anything, this contains the 80-20 of hook writing from 35,000 plus pieces of content. Like, I didn't wake up with a viral video, right, and have people just appear. I had to will this. I had to force this. I had to do a lot of volume. And so here's a fraction of what's inside of what I'll show you. Proven formulas that work across every content type. Best performing hooks across all platforms, email, social, ads, everything. Simple checklists to create winning hooks every time. And so that's the second playbook that you get inside of the Leads implementation system. The third playbook you get is the brand playbook. And some of you guys may have noticed that direct response isn't working like it used to. This shows you how to build a premium brand that commands way higher prices and gets cheaper leads who buy more often. Cracking this enabled me to break through my $30 million plus revenue ceiling that I was stuck at for over 3 years. So here's just a preview of what's inside. The exact topics and associations to pick and build the brand that gets you the customers and sales you want. The brand flywheel, how to reinforce, broaden, narrow, scale, or pivot a brand. The perfect positioning process to turn views into sales instead of just vanity metrics. So that's the third playbook that you're going to get inside of the Leads implementation system. The fourth is the marketing machine. So let's face it, making ads and content can be tiring. This is how you remove yourself as the face of your marketing. It took me 18 months to remove my face completely from gym launch while growing sales. So here's just a fraction of what's inside. 9 perpetual ad flows that generate fresh marketing content weekly. These are so sexy. A one-time setup that captures testimonials and ads from everything you already do. And the complete system to exit your phase from marketing without losing sales. Without this, I would have never been able to sell gym launch. So if I were you, I'd be like, well, is there any proof? Glad you asked. Here's some proof this works. This is what we spent advertising this event to get you here. Up to $500,000 a day. You can't reach this scale without systems that scale with you. That was just August 13th, 280,000, 229,000, all right? And the result was 584,000 registrations and selling more books before this launch than we sold at the last launch. And using these playbooks and checklists, I grew from 0 to 13 plus million person audience across all platforms in 5 years. This is how you can will your brand and not luck it into existence. And using the tactics contained in the marketing machine, this puppy, is how we created 1,452 ads for this launch for just our first round of ads. We actually got a warning from Facebook because we neared our ad limit. I don't know if you've ever gotten that before, but if you have a system that can scale, that's what scale looks like. And these don't just work for me. This is Chris Howell. He's a commercial architect. He was able to scale his deal pipeline from a few deals a month to tripling his business's growth. And using these principles, Jorge was able to scale his ads and lead flow for his local pharmacy. He said, after launching the strategy your team gave us, business exploded, traffic surged by over 30%. We had to grow the team just to keep up the first month. And Ava, who's 19 years old, was able to take her content agency from 10 to 15 new deals a month to 40 to 60 new deals a month. And these were B2B high-ticket recurring sales. So that's your Leads implementation system. 4 playbooks that solve the biggest leads constraints we found in 1,026 plus businesses. So when you donate the $200, you're gonna get all 4 playbooks, the Go-To Ads playbook, the Hooks playbook, the Branding playbook, the Marketing Machine playbook, all free. You just go to go.acq.com. Now, there's more. The second system you get is the sales implementation system. Whether you can't get leads to show, can't close them when they do, or it's taking forever to get a yes, these playbooks show what we've done to solve these problems for good. So the first is the lead nurture playbook. At Allen, we analyzed every variable that increases shows across 100,000 appointments. The findings in this playbook contain the most data-driven show system that I'm aware of. So here's just a fraction of what you'll get. The 4 pillars of lead nurture, tactics to maximize speed, volume, personalization, and medium to get more schedules. The 16 actions we take to turn schedules into shows and achieve an 89% show rate that takes 0 skill. You just follow the checklist. And what's crazy is that most entrepreneurs waste time just obsessing over close rates. And there's nothing wrong with obsessing over close rates, but If you just follow a process, you can increase sales way more than any team training or new skills by just checking the list. So that's the first playbook you're gonna get in the sales implementation system. The second is the closing playbook. So when I was living in motels at $100,000 in debt, my sales team couldn't close. I actually had to fly out. This playbook contains the exact closes I drilled them on to save my business. So here's a preview of what's inside. The 7 universal closes. They work no matter what a prospect says. They're the first 7 every salesman must memorize. And I've never seen these identified, and I've never included them in my content because I was saving it for this. The reframe framework turns every question into a buying statement and gets avoiders to decide while real no's reveal their true concerns. And the urgency creation system, the words to say to make prospects buy now instead of thinking about it even when you have no deadline. So that's the second playbook that you get inside of the sales implementation system. The third is the proof playbook. Sales take too long because you don't have enough of the right kind of proof at the right times. This playbook solves that. So here's just a fraction of its contents. The belief continuum, how to move prospects from consideration to buying. The system that I use to capture volume of proof, so testimonials happen automatically and overwhelm competitors. So think proof over promise. It works in person and online. And the 13-point proof checklist that instantly diagnoses why your emails, ads, and calls aren't converting. So here's some proof this actually works. Here are my actual show rates for ACQ for this year using the Lead Nurture Playbook. Those are actual show rates. These are our close rates from this year. And I used over 213 examples of proof during this presentation following this 13-point proof checklist. And to prove this works for any business, not just ours, we actually used all 3 playbooks when working with a portfolio company, IBC Global, which is insurance. So here's a direct quote from the founder, Steve. We went from 20% to 61% conversion of all appointments, 3x our total appointments converted, using the ACQ Nurture, closing, and proof process. Numbers are up and to the right big time. Think about what a different 20 to 61. And this is not a small business. And here's another portfolio company we used all 3 playbooks in. So this year, well-oiled operations took their close rates from 27% to 45%, a massive difference for the business, just following the process. So that's your sales implementation system. 3 playbooks to solve the biggest sales-related constraints we found in 1,026 plus businesses. So here's what you're getting. You're getting $200 right off the bat, right, which you're donating. You're getting the lead system, which includes the Go-To Ads playbooks, which will show you how to break through the limitations for your ad scaling, which is one of the biggest issues that people can't scale on the front end. You're getting the hooks playbook. You're getting the branding playbook. You're getting the marketing machine playbook, all free. And then you're getting the sales system. You have Lead Nurture playbook to turn clicks into schedules and schedules into shows. At the end of the day, you can't sell people if they don't show up. Then you've got closing. So once they do show up, you can get them to buy. And we've got the proof checklist to make the whole thing happen faster. All 3 of those free. We're not done. So next up you get, let's see if I put this without making it all fall over. And we stuck the landing. Did we stick the landing? There we go. All right. So the next is the delivery implementation system. This solves the 2 biggest constraints that kill profitability. Customers not paying enough and customers not staying long enough. The first is the lifetime value playbook. So if leads cost too much, it's common that they don't really cost too much, but that you make too little. The customer value multiplication framework helps solve this. So here's just a fraction of what's inside. The 8 ways customers can transact with your business, leverage all 8, and never worry about rising CAC again. Most businesses only use 1 or 2. That's what's crazy. 9 real, like actually work, cost-cutting frameworks that drop every saved dollar straight to your bottom line. And the customer value map, which shows how to maximize revenue per customer interaction ethically. So that's the first of the 2 delivery playbooks that you're gonna get. The second is the retention playbook. So I've been in the recurring revenue business my entire life. Understanding churn has been a scientific process for me. Like show rates, it's not one thing, it's 100 small things, and you gotta do them all. The good news, the hard part is figuring out what they are. The easy part is actually doing them. So here's a preview of what's inside. Real retention data from millions of memberships showing how to reverse engineer churn from engagement activation. Remember, I'm a co-owner of school. I see a lot of revenue that's recurring. I see a lot of memberships, and I have the data because it's all in one platform. The updated 5 horsemen retention for service-based businesses, and the complete 9-step churn elimination protocol with activation points and onboarding frameworks. So that's the second playbook you're gonna get. But here's proof this works. So we use these in WeWhiten, a portfolio company of ours. They whiten teeth. You didn't get that. And 2x'd how much customers were worth and how fast they paid, with the extra cash dropping straight to the bottom line. Want to guess how big of an impact it made? Which 7.5x profit per location. That's not a typo. Imagine that for a second. 7.5x per location across all 17 stores in 2 years without changing anything about their core services. They still whiten teeth. And only changing the money model. And to give you another example, here's our month 12 retention on school. This retention curve is how we have 15 plus million users on school, which means that we retain so well that we net more than 1 user per user, which makes school grow even faster. So here's proof this works, not just for my business, but any business. So this is what Eric and Amanda Eck, who own a digital art marketplace, said. AOV more than doubled. Result, better customers who pay faster, pay more, thank us for it. We've maintained revenue, improved margins, and we can breathe. Here's another. This is Paul Law, founder of Multiverse Beans, had to say. I attribute a lot of the growth to what you said to me at the workshop. Customer journey is what matters most. Overall, 66% growth for 7.5 months. So that's your delivery implementation system. 2 playbooks that solve the biggest delivery-related constraints we found in 1,026 plus businesses. So here's what you're getting. When you donate 200 bucks, you're getting the lead system, which includes go-to ads, hooks, branding, and marketing. And if you just use the hooks alone, like if you think about the front end of a business, the hook is how every single person actually starts going from cold to warm. If you were just able to increase the amount of people that just take that first step, everything else down funnel increases just from that one thing. And this is just one of the 4 playbooks that you get inside a lead system for free. On top of that, inside of the sales system, you have lead nurture, closing, and proof. If people are taking way too long to buy, it's because you don't have the right kind and enough at the right times of proof. And the checklist shows you how to do that. You'll get all 3 of those playbooks for free. On top of that, you'll get the delivery system, which shows you how to juice the hell out of LTV and retain customers once they start paying. Free. Next up, you get, but wait, there's more. The profit implementation system. This is the last constraint that kills businesses. You work all day, every day for the small percentage of cash left over at the end of the month. With a few tweaks, that number can be much bigger. These playbook contains the 3 lowest operational effort systems you can implement into a business to prove its cash position. So the first is the fast cash playbook. How to inject cash into a business using only what you've already got. Every business needs a way to generate cash quickly. Taxes, emergencies, extra payroll months, funding and expansion, or my personal favorite, just to give yourself a raise. So here's just a fraction of what's inside. Ready to send 7-day countdown email text promotion sequences tested on thousands of businesses. A quarterly cash calendar system with 90-day rotations so you can just set these and run them on a cadence. The fast cash checklist to help you pick and assemble your list, pick your offer, price it, and send it. This thing's awesome. So that's the first playbook that you get inside of the profit implementation system. The second is the pricing playbook. This contains my top 10 most used instant pricing-based profit optimizations. These are the first strategies that I would use to cover this donation. If I zapped into your position right now and I was just jumping into the business, this is the first thing I would use. So here's a preview of what's inside. 10 instant pricing optimizations. For example, going monthly to 28-day cycles, that's an 8.3% increase in billing. That's just one of 10 different optimizations that are in here. And that's bullet 1. The next is 17 pricing algorithms. They explain if this, then that. If at full capacity and need help, do X. If at full capacity and don't, do Y. And just to put this in perspective, if you were to implement all of these, assuming you had none and you didn't change sales, it would represent a gigantic increase in profit. And I have yet to meet a business that has every one of these installed. The third is the price raise playbook. This is the last of the 3 profit implementation playbooks. If you raise prices, you make more doing the same or less work. This is the highest leverage thing you can send tomorrow. So here's just a fraction of what you'll get inside. How to find your pricing sweet spot without losing customers or needing fancy analytics. The price raise method with trap doors to keep select customers without playing favorites. And the price raise letter, tested by hundreds of businesses, fill in the blanks and send. This thing is gold. It's amazing. I've tested this with so many different types of businesses. Like, this is awesome. So here's proof this works. Part of how Gym Launch sold $16,000 packages in a market with a $32,000 median income was fast cash plays. We gave them the skills to make the money to afford the help they needed. And the result of these pricing levers, when used together, were Gym Launch's actual gross margins. And so here's proof this works, not just for my business, but any business. So here's Corey. He owns ProShine HVAC duct cleaners. This is what he said. These principles were super easy to implement in my business, almost like finding $100 bills everywhere I went. After sitting down with my business, I'm fairly confident to say this brought 15 to 20% back on my business that was just sitting there. Think about your business. If you drop 15 to 20% more to the bottom line, would that be a big deal? Probably. Just from doing things that were already there, just repositioning. And here's what Tuzaint said, who owns a marketing agency that sells to stem cell clinics. The pricing playbook alone, this guy, paid for my VAM workshop. Before using it, I had a lot of friction increasing LTV for my clients due to selling a high-ticket offer. I read the book on my flight home, implemented Alex's tactics, and not only did we triple LTV, we also tripled the amount of clients who were signing up, all due to the positioning tactics in the playbook. And I don't know about you, tripling LTV, tripling the amount of customers you sign up, good. And so here's more proof the pricing playbook works for any business. So James Patrick, he's a health consultant. If you guys are looking for feedback on $100 pricing, this stuff is gold. An easy read on an hour flight. Jeff clarity on how to make XYZ. Frank LaRosa, Elite Recruiting. You can tell Alex's pricing playbook is one of the best books ever I've ever read in terms of having an immediate impact when I roll these out. Roof Leopard. We get no's due to our pricing and are closing at 42% close rate this season while increasing our average ticket from last year by $5,500. That's per sale increased by $5,500. Not bad. Now, these are businesses that used the price raise playbook, this puppy. So Danielle Thompson, we took our price from $115 per month to $196 every 4 weeks. We were super scared to send the letter, but it ended up being the single best decision we made as a business. And here's Steven. I rolled out this price increase letter to 32 clients. Honestly, I wasn't sure it would land. Raising memberships by $226 a month, added $226, right? It ended up being the single fastest revenue lever I've ever pulled in business, ever. Stephanie took my price from $200 to $396 and $516 a month. It was the best decision we have made for our business, and we have not looked back since. And Leander implemented a 78% membership price hike across 700 subscriptions. It was a bold move, but it allowed me to significantly boost revenue, reinvest the member experience, and elevate the perceived value of the brand. Looking back, it was one of the best decisions we made for long-term growth. So that's your profit implementation system. 3 playbooks to solve the biggest profit-related constraints we've found in 1,026 plus businesses. So here's what you get in the $100 million Money Models implementation system. Ooh, doesn't that look nice? There we go. Oops, ooh, that could have been bad. There we go. Okay. So here's what you're getting. When you donate $200 to entrepreneurs who need them, you're getting the entire lead system, all 4 playbooks, go-to ads, hooks, branding, and the marketing machine so you can remove your face from making content or ads if you so desire, free. You're getting the sales system, which includes lead nurture, closing, and proof, so you can accelerate your sales and accelerate your cash flow cycle over and over by just installing these checklists, free. You're also getting the delivery system, which includes increasing LTV and retaining customers longer through one of which, the churn elimination protocol, free. And the profit system, which includes fast cash, pricing, and the price raise letter that you can immediately send. This is the lowest operational drag thing. If I were to jump into your business tomorrow, I would start with the profit implementation playbook, and boom. All solving the real constraints of 1,026 plus real businesses like yours. So this isn't theory. These are the solutions we charge $35,000 for, to be clear, plus obviously 1 day of in-person delivery. So think of these as your treasure map for scaling from where you are to where you want to go. And today you get all 12 playbooks free when you donate $200 to entrepreneurs who need them. There we go. So if you want all 12 implementation playbooks, go to go.acq.com right now. And if you qualify through a firm, you can donate the books and get everything in your hands for as little as $249. Again, interest-free if you qualify. And if you're not seeing it, just make sure you check out as a guest. All right, there's one at the top and the bottom you can click. If you have trouble checking out, we have 300 phone reps who are there to help you get support. All right, and while you're checking out, let me show you how we're going to make sure you implement the right solution at the right time for you. So imagine you're about to begin on this quest. But what happens when you hit a roadblock specific to your exact business situation? Most people get stuck and give up. I couldn't personally consult with everyone, but I had an idea that changed everything. So I told you that we met with 1,026 plus businesses who paid over $35,000 each. That's $35 million in advisory work. But one thing I left out is I also personally met with 226 plus businesses that paid $135,000 or more each for me to one-on-one break down their business. Now, look at this behemoth. I compiled all my notes on each of the 226 businesses that I worked with one-on-one. If I spaced out working with all those businesses with no weekends, it would be one business every other day, end to end, for 2 years. And look, I took pictures of all of them. A truly backbreaking amount of work. And I definitely didn't do it because one-on-one consulting in person scales, but because the biggest issue I continue to have is people asking, hey, Alex, what should I do to grow my business? And I really desperately want to answer that question for you. But there's only so many hours in the day, and I still have my main job at ACQ. So I personally documented the exact problems and solutions for 226 plus businesses. I did this monstrous amount of work that can't scale for a very particular reason: to build something that can. So here's what I did. For every business I met with, we had intake calls, we took down their stats, their industry. I took extensive notes, we did a constraint analysis, I personally delivered the recommendations in person, I documented their exact problems and solutions, exactly what they would need to act on and in what order, and organized follow-up to give them their next steps. Now, to all my folks who paid $135,000, don't worry, your data is protected, your data is safe. But again, I personally consulted every business, recorded every intake call, every constraint analysis, every recommendation, every follow-up call, all my actual notes. I recorded all of it, all in preparation for this very moment. Violent, obscene, ruthless, wise. ACQ AI, custom trained on everything. So I trained a custom AI on everything. My end-to-end analysis of each of the 226 plus businesses, every constraint, every solution, every implementation step, plus all 3 books, offers, leads, and money models. Then I trained it on all the implementation playbooks that you just got, the leads implementation playbooks, the sales implementation playbooks, the profit implementation playbooks, the delivery implementation playbooks, and I plugged it into this AI so we have consistent inputs and outputs. Now, I worked with a lot of businesses over the last 2 years. Here's just a few of them. We had pest control, carpet cleaning, restaurants, waste management, logistics, cannabis, lighting, legal, accounting, wealth, tax, financial advisors, marketing agencies, content creators, influencers, media companies, roofing, construction, remodelers, real estate brokerages, lenders, real estate agents, real estate investors, fund managers, crypto funds, web design, IT services, content ads, branding agencies, design shops, online coaches, gyms, nail salon, hair salon, massage therapy, med spas, auto repair, coaching courses, community owners, online businesses, e-commerce, car dealerships, logging, franchisers, meal prep, e-commerce brands, virtual assistant agencies, recruiters, insurance, physical therapy, B2B SaaS, B2B services, B2C SaaS, B2C services, cash practice, general practitioners, dentists, surgeons, urgent cares, pharmacies, HVAC, plumbing, lawn care, and residential and commercial cleaning. So if you're wondering, but will it be able to help with my specific business? Yes, for 3 reasons. First, that was 60 of them. I did more than 4 times that. Second, because I probably helped a business exactly like yours, not once, but multiple times. Some bigger, some smaller, some exactly the same size. And third, even if I hadn't found or worked with one exactly like yours. You should want insights from outside your industry. That's how you get ahead. Result, you get answers in minutes that would take you years of trial and error to discover on your own. And the best part, you'll never have to wonder, what would Alex do in my specific situation again? And so if the playbooks are your map, then ACQ AI is your vehicle to getting there. This is the first time this data has ever been made available to anyone, and at no small cost. And if this sounds absurdly valuable, it's because it is. Normally, a fraction of this intelligence would cost $135,000 per consultation. It's literally the most valuable thing I can give you. In fact, many of the faces that you see behind me paid at least that. And after spending $135,000 on that work, the average business rated a 9.54 out of 10. It was a lot of work. And to be clear, these are experienced business owners. But numbers on a page can get overwhelming. So why don't we just ask them if they thought it was worth it? So if you guys could use the incredibly scientific method of holding your fingers up from 1 to 10, 1 being bad, 10 being great, could you tell everyone who's watching whether it was worth it? Can I get some fingers? So don't believe me, believe them. So why would I give away such an unstoppable machine? Well, let's not pretend that I'm just giving this away, because I'm not. There's a catch. But before I tell you, books, experiences, tutors changed my life more than anything, which is why I want to get these books in the hands of every entrepreneur in America and eventually the world. And if you're already donating 200 bucks and see how this AI tool is more valuable than any one-off consulting that people even pay $135,000 for, and will give you hilariously more value than hiring another mid-level employee or vendor with a fraction of the experience, and is way faster than trying to figure out everything for yourself through years of trial and error. And again, to put this in perspective, not even counting that this AI is trained on all 3 of my books, all 12 of the implementation playbooks, the leads playbooks, the sales playbooks, the profit playbooks, the delivery playbooks, and $31 million of real cash value advisory work alone. And more than 2 years of my life meeting with businesses one-on-one, day in and day out. And before I tell you the additional books you need to donate to get this free, let me ask you a question. How much is knowing exactly what to do with your business worth to you? How much is getting the right strategy without years of trial and error worth to you? How much is having the answer to your biggest business problem in minutes to your exact specifications worth to you? How much is unlimited access to intelligence that never sleeps worth to you? Donating an extra 1,000 books, 2,000 books, 5,000 books, 30,000 books? Hold that number in your head, for real. Actually think about the number. Like, what amount of books would you be willing to donate for that? If you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt, this custom trained AI would help you solve your biggest constraint, which you can't because all business involves risk and your execution will vary. But if it did, wouldn't it be worth at least that much? So if I price this with 2,500 more books on top of the 200, I think it would be beyond reasonable. 2,500 more books to get $31 million of consulting value at your fingertips. And that's why the ACQ AI is definitely a bargain at not 2,500, but 1,000 more books. And consider this. If all this did was give you the one solution to the problem that's been holding your business back for years, or allow you to see an opportunity from the outside of your industry that lets you leapfrog all your competition, or save your business from one catastrophic mistake. If all this did was give you the confidence to make your next big move, knowing it's built on a foundation of hundreds of real-world businesses like yours, wouldn't it be worth it? I think so too. Which is why it's an even bigger bargain at not 1,000 books, but 400 more books. Because even if only one single time you get one actionable answer to your exact specification with 10 times the clarity at 100 times the speed, it's the same thing these high-level, amazing business owners paid $135,000 for. And they did that because you only get to that level by understanding the value of risk and speed. And the best part is you only invest once, but get to leverage it to your exact specifications as many times as you want, which is why leverage, like skills, is one of the best investments. Look, if I had taken that $31 million from consulting and just parked it somewhere, it'd just be a pile of money. Who cares? But instead, I took 2 years of my life and the fruits of all that labor and put it into an AI tool that you can use. So which would you rather have? 400 books worth of cash, or the help you need to get to where you want to go with the custom ACQ AI trained on everything, 24/7 on demand? Right, me too. Which is why this may really be the best offer I've ever given at not 400 extra books, but only 200 extra. And because I want each and every one of you, truly serious ultra ballers, to have an unfair advantage, to 2x, 5x, or 10x your business over time. And I know how game-changing having the right answer at the right time has been for me. And I want this to be within your financial means, but still a serious decision. I'm not going to ask you to donate 400 more bucks. I'm not even going to ask you to donate 200 more bucks. And given this tool adds clarity, structure, speed, volume, and wisdom, it only makes sense that this has a real cost. And it only makes sense to do right by everyone who's ever invested in the development of this project. All these amazing people behind me. Which is why I'm going to give you access to the ACQ AI custom trained on everything for an extra donation of, an extra one-time book donation of, free, with the original 200 book donation. So yes, it's all included when you donate 200 books. As my way of saying thank you to all the players for putting books in the hands of entrepreneurs who need them. You guys are all amazing. So, let me quickly recap what you're getting when you donate 200 books at go.acq.com. And if you're like, should I go now? You should go now. Here's what you're getting. You donate 200 books to entrepreneurs who need them. That's $5,998 in absolute, clear, unquestionable value. On top of that, you're getting the lead system to solve your leads constraints. If you're not getting as many qualified prospects as you need, we created these literal checklists and scripts to follow to solve the constraint. Free. The hooks, the go-to-dads, branding, and the marketing machine. Next, you get the sales system, which includes lead nurture, closing, and the proof checklist. So if right now you're not converting as many people and they're not converting as fast as you want, this is what it's for. Free. All of it. Next, you have the delivery system. If delivery is your constraint, you're not making enough profit per customer, LTV needs to expand, or people are just churning out the back end. These checklists help you solve that problem. Both of these, free. And you get the profit system, fast cash pricing, and the price raise letter, things you can immediately do in your business tomorrow to improve how sales are perceived and how you can price that can ultimately drive the most profit. Not a promise, just saying that's how it works. All four of those systems free. Plus, the ACQ AI trained on $31 million of consulting that took me 2 years to build and put together so that I could train this AI on the best first-party data I possibly could. Free. When you help me, help other entrepreneurs by donating 200 bucks. But I've got one more free gift for you guys when you do. The ACQ Virtual Implementation Workshop. And you're like, does Alex have a prop for this? Hell yeah, I have a prop for this. Boom, look at that. Doesn't it look nice? Looks nice, doesn't it? All right, there we go. To make sure you use the AI to the best of its ability, I want to walk you through the same process that people pay $35,000 or even $135,000 for and love it. So when you donate 200 books, you'll also get the ACQ Implementation Virtual Workshop. So I'll be personally leading you through the entire implementation process to find the playbook that will give you the highest return today, which one you'll need next, and how to best use ACQ AI to implement it. At the virtual workshop, you'll identify which constraint gives you the maximum return on effort using our most effective frameworks to help you use ACQ AI to find and create leverage. You'll pinpoint whether your bottleneck is demand or supply, and then install what I call quad promotional funnels that allow you to scale across both sides of the business. You'll leave with a clear roadmap showing which playbook to start with for maximum impact, personalized by the ACQ AI for your exact business. The result, you'll get clear on what's holding you back, then know which playbooks to use to solve the issue and unlock what I call leverage growth. and use ACQ AI to maximize it. So if the playbook's your map, think of the ACQ AI as your vehicle, and think of the workshops as your guide. Now, to put this in context, an in-person version of this is $35,000 run by my team, all right? So I'm not involved. $35,000 run by my team in person one day. This experience is virtual and it's led by me. Now, here's just a few happy stories of the in-person one run by my team. Joshua Tomlinson, I followed Alex's content for a long time. Expectations were super high. Needless to say, absolutely delivered. Happy Bay Construction. We've never been to an event packed with so much value in 2 days. No fluff, straight business, worth every penny. Sarah, been to Vegas twice now, can say without hesitation, helped my business tremendously. Mike Lynch, one of the best high-level business events I've ever been to, highly recommend for every business owner. Julie, nearly instant ROI every time I come here. They go above and beyond to make sure you get exceptional value. And there's just, honestly, the best things we've ever done. You can keep going. Left with clarity, bunch of great notes, some solid connections, great flow, right? I can definitely do it again, recommend a friend. I can keep going. There's just a lot of these, a lot of these. And you get access to the ACQ virtual event for free when you support 200 entrepreneurs by donating books. So here's what you're getting. You get the 200 books. You get the lead system, free. You get the sales system, free. You get the delivery system in both playbooks, free. The profit system in all 3 playbooks, free. Again, these are hard copies inside of a premium bound binder. On top of that, ACQ AI training on 226 plus businesses, probably 1 or 2 that are just like yours, maybe 1 bigger, 1 smaller, that you can immediately ask questions to about your specific business and the next thing you need to do. And the virtual workshop to make sure that you know how to maximize all of this material so you can unbottleneck your business and grow without restraint. All free when you donate 200 books. So just go to go.acq.com. Now, if you want my competitive advantage to be yours for less than the cost of a Chipotle burrito every day, which is $8.33 with Affirm, just go to go.acq.com right now. Now, I've seen many of you already donating books during this presentation, and it makes me incredibly grateful, so thank you. But I also know that some of you still have a question or two. So before I bring out our 5 mystery headliners, let me address some of the questions I expect people to have. So let me just be upfront. This is a significant commitment, right? So let me just be direct here. If you've gotten value from my free nuggets, my free YouTube videos, my free podcast, my free scaling roadmap, my free audiobooks, my free keynotes, my free newsletter, Hormozi Minute, my free courses, my free events, please donate some books. Which you can do here, now, at go.acq.com. And if you haven't gotten value, then please don't. I really mean that. With that said, while you guys check out, I want to share something cool with you. Over the last year, I've been studying risk-reward decision-making frameworks of the wealthiest people in history. People like Rockefeller, Paul Getty, Bezos, Musk. And what amazed me was a common theme. These guys had to make huge bets and go all in multiple times, and those moments are the inflection points in their lives and wealth. For example, Elon, age 26, exits first business, Zip2, gets $22 million in cash. Most people retire here, but then he goes all in on his next thing, a payment platform. 31, exits PayPal, $175 million in cash to him. Most people for sure retire here, but he then goes all in again on his next thing, rocket cars and solar. Then, age 37, SpaceX almost runs out of money, puts everything he has on the line on his 4th launch, makes it happen, and SpaceX is saved. But wait, there's more. At age 46, Tesla's 1 month from running out of money. He risks his entire net worth again to borrow money to float the company and eventually turns the corner with the Model S. And today, 54, now the richest man in the world with 3 of the most valuable companies ever and positioned for more growth. And all of the others have the same wild stories because they have a different and superior understanding of risk and reward. Bezos actually has 2 of my favorite quotes on risk and reward of all time. The first was the opener of my $100 million offers book. Outsized returns often come from betting against conventional wisdom. And conventional wisdom is usually right. Given a 10% chance of 100 times payoff, you should take that bet every time. But you're still going to be wrong 9 times out of 10. We all know that if you swing for the fences, you're going to strike out a lot. But you're also going to hit some home runs. The difference between baseball and business, however, is that baseball has a truncated outcome distribution. When you swing, no matter how well you connect with the ball, the most runs you can get is 4. In business, every once in a while, when you step up to the plate, you can score 1,000 runs. This long-tail distribution of returns is why it's important to be bold. Big winners pay for so many experiments. He also has my second favorite quote of his. It's short and sweet, but it's one that I think of a lot, partially because I don't read paragraphs to myself. Humans tend to overestimate risk and underestimate opportunity, which led to one conclusion. History rewards us for being bold. Because I know some of you guys are stuck trying to figure out your next move, scaling like crazy, trying to keep the wheels on the bus, and some of you guys are just trying to stop the bleeding. And I've noticed this common theme for myself in business is that at every sticking point I reach, there's usually some big bet I have to make to get to the next level. And so I like to remind myself of this when I don't feel courageous. And so each of these figures had moments where they had to make high stakes decisions multiple times, not just once, multiple times, and go all in to get to the next level. And so the decisions are the highest leverage actions that we can take. I thought sharing some of the decision frameworks and bets that shaped my career might be some of the highest leverage value that I can give you. Is that okay? I think they're cool. Sweet. 10 decisions and frameworks that changed my life. So big decision number one was quitting my job to become an entrepreneur. So I'm on the phone with a close friend, Victor. He was my first free client, by the way, pacing around my apartment, probably for the 50th time, debating if I should quit my job and start a business or not. And so I'm saying things like, what if it doesn't work? What if I run out of money? I'm doing okay. Why should I change anything? I've got a lot going on already. Things are super busy right now. And like a good friend, he listened and he waited for me to list all my reasons. And then he said something I'll never forget. He said, dude, the only thing that's guaranteed